The classical world marked the emergence of a series of ideas that set the foundation of how social hierarchy was going to be laid out for the next 15 centuries. One such idea was the formation of the bureaucracies. Such systems especially are emphasized in China. Bureaucracy is defined as a system of government in which most of the important decisions are made by state officials rather than elected representatives. To start with this complicated topic, we have to stimulate the beginning and reason behind the making of this system. Early theologies of bureaucracy began during the Xia dynasty around 4,000 years ago. However, it wasn't during the unification of the warring states by the Qin that a central form of bureaucracy was established. The Qin emperor set to establish a series of ideas and reforms based on economic, social, and lastly political factors of the empire. Due to the separation of states and disunification within the empire, the Qin emperor also created a system of political structure that will centralize China and prevail until the beginning of the 20th century, and that was the Chinese aristocracy and bureaucracy. Keep in mind, China was under heavy Confucian ideas and influences at that time. Thus, knowledge and education played a heavy part in society. Yi Zheng thought out this factor and based the bureaucracy on the apprehension of knowledge and wisdom. The system was soon interrupted by the collapse of the Qin dynasty, bringing a pause to it. Later, after the Han dynasty gained control of China, the process of establishing the social system resumed, creating imperial examinations. However, it was not enormously emphasized, but was more focused based on military aristocracy. Nevertheless, the system created an enormous flood and competition for education sprouting within China. In the course of the Tang dynasty, China sees the beginning of the prominence golden age. The imperial examinations became a major path to a political office, until 1905. Since the exams were based on knowledge of the classics and literary styles, not technical expertise, successful candidates and even those who failed were generalists who shared a common language and culture. This common culture helped unify the empire, and the ideal of achievement by merit gave legitimacy to imperial rule. The imperial examination system helped to shape China's intellectual, cultural, and political life. The increased reliance on the exam system was in part responsible for the Tang dynasty shifting from a military aristocracy to a gentry class of scholar bureaucrats. However, even though the examination-based bureaucracy heavily emphasized on Confucian literature and erudite scholars achieved high positions, the system lacked formal safeguards against political corruption. Besides the Confucian moral teachings tested by the examinations, once their political future was secured by the success in their examinations, high-ranking officials were often tempted to corruption and abuse of power. Moreover, relatively low status of military professionals in Confucian society discouraged similar efficiency and meritocracy within the military. One of the breaks within the bureaucracy was during the Mongol invasion of China and the establishment of the Yuan dynasty, which dominated China for approximately a century. The Mongols preserved a small portion of the Chinese governments while creating a system of power divided by race. On the top are the Mongol ruling race, then the Muslims and Turks, with the Chinese as the lowest of them all. When the last Chinese dynasty, the Qin dynasty, fell in 1911, it marked the end of China's incredibly long imperial history. That history stretched back at least as far as 221 BCE, when the Qin emperor first united China into a single empire. During much of that time, China was the single undisputed superpower in East Asia, with neighboring lands such as Korea, Vietnam, and often reluctant Japan trailing its cultural wake. The Qing dynasty fell in 1911, overthrown by a revolution brewing since 1894. When the Western-educated revolutionary Sun Yat-sen formed to revive Chinese society in Hawaii, then Hong Kong. In 1905, Sun united various revolutionary factions into one party with the Japanese help and wrote the Manifesto, the Three Principles of the People. In 1911, the Nationalist Party of China held an uprising in Wuchang, helped by Qing soldiers, and 15 provinces declared their independence from the empire. Within weeks, the Qing court agreed to the creation of the republic within its top general Yuan Shikai as president. This marked the end of the long tradition of bureaucracy in China. Fast forward to modern day. The People's Republic of China reinstated that bureaucracy system into a modern fashion, with civil exams representing the entry ticket to a government position, yet did not fully represent how bureaucracy was displayed in dynastic China. Some form of bureaucracy can be traced within almost every ancient civilization, especially in Asia. The closest to the Chinese bureaucracy was the Korean bureaucracy. This long-lasting form of government shaped China in its ancient heritage, a model of long-lasting impact on how cultural, education, and ideology are shaped.